Yeah, good morning, Chitra.
Good
Uh,
morning.
your company has made 234 persons permanent in one stroke in the last settlement.
Absolutely.
Okay, and it appears almost everybody is a permanent worker in your factory. Hardly, any contract or temporary is left.
Oh, yes,
So
almost
how
all.
how how did this happen? Can you tell us little background and also tell us your thoughts about it?
Okay, let me go a little back and tell you that this is the second agreement settlement that we had with the contract workers. The first one was obviously 3.5 years back, and in the first agreement itself, they had demanded that we make the contractors permanent, like it always happens in all agreements. But we were still kind of digesting that we have a new union for the contract workers, and we finished the agreement and signed it for 3 years. It always played on my mind, that there are so many people who are on contract, and they gave their demands about 4 months before the expiry of the agreement. And the first point was, of course, like any other union does, they asked for permanency. So I did a kind of a survey in the company because this is what I felt. I started asking people that, would you work in the same zeal? Would you have the same loyalty? Would you have the same accountability if you are on contract? Or is it different because you are permanent? And not one person said that they would be comfortable if they are under contract as long as they get the money. What does it bother? No, it is the security, it is, the permanency that makes a difference, and that is what I felt too. So I went to the management, I went to the CEO of the company and started to talk about it. And the first time I spoke to him and explained the situation how it is, I did not get any negative reply. So I started working more on it. I started working on how much value could be added. Of course, I worked on the costing, on just about everything. I also touched upon the value addition about compliance. It's always better to have a larger number of permanent employees, and contracted should just be on the peripherals. They should not be core at all. So, keeping all that in mind, we also have a JV partner, AAK, who are in Sweden. I spoke to them as well, and they were completely open about it. And they said that if this is the way that you all think that it should work better, why not? Let's do it. Of course, there were some questions about, would they work well if we make them permanent? Would they take their jobs for granted, etc.? So we contacted Vivek, who's an expert, and Vivek said, just put it down.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, like I said, I went to an expert who told me such a simple thing, basic. Just put down what you want and agree to it with them, talk across the table. So, what we did is we treated all of them as equals, put on the table what we wanted. They didn't say no, but we have to do a lot of work on it, of course. It's like a dream if all the points that we have put are actually implemented. So we are working on small goals, and
Great.
hopefully
Now,
it'll all get done.
you shifted the factory from Andheri to Khopoli, right?
Yes.
So, did you recruit everybody as contract labor, or did you transfer to some permanent people from Andheri to Khopoli?
So in Andheri we had about 80 permanent people, and we transferred about 74. The others did not want to come. We
Okay.
transferred them as permanent employees. But by the time we spoke to their union at that time,
Yeah.
it took some time. So when we started the factory over there,
Yeah.
we took on contract laborers, some with experience, some fresh.
So you actually effectively had some 70 odd people as permanent people who got transferred, and rest all 200 and odd people were contract workers. Have I understood the situation correct?
Absolutely. There were 74 of them. Today there are 54 left. The others have retired. And we have got 234 contracted employees.
Very well. One last question. What have been the learnings in this entire episode?
Well, the first thing, the result will come. We are confident it will come. But the learning is, and everyone should know that, is that at the end of the day, we all are equal. So our terms also should be equal. I do believe at different levels there are different salaries. That's a different part altogether. But why should some people be secure and some be insecure? And there's one more thing which I very strongly believe in, is that if me and a few managers don't go to the factory for a couple of days, okay, something happens, but not much. But if a few workers don't come, it shuts down. And we have to realize that and accept the importance.
Great, great. I think your people philosophy is really laudable. Thank you very much for granting us this interview.